You guys can hear me?
I can.
Awesome. All right, Darren, can we go live? Are we live? I think we're live, Roz. Honestly, I
Okay.
do.
Procedures on the end of the gavel or the elected officials. In America, justice has turned a blind eye to our rights.
In a time when the family needs all they can get from the system created by the people for the people, fathers are being ousted, kids being stolen and valued down the toilet. What do we do? Call on the family law vigilante.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much,
I'm doing
Roz.
here.
I'm happy you're here tonight. Thanks for joining.
Okay.
So listen, so honestly, last time when we were on Darren's show, Abolish CPS, I thought you had a phenomenal, voice and vision on this entire thing. So
Thank
I'd
you.
love just to talk to you a little bit more. I'm sending the link right now to someone who wants to tell her story. So I may appear off camera for one.
And she did.
So I'd love my viewers to get to understand who you are and what you do.
My name is Roz McAllister, and in about 1996, 97, an acquaintance had children taken by Children's Services. I completed paralegal training, and what was happening didn't sound like anything I learned in school.
Right.
So I decided to help them out, and that started me on a path to where since then I have assisted families for many years, helping them get their kids back from Children's Services. That is what my paralegal training has been doing. I haven't ever worked in the field, but I volunteered in it all this time.
Okay. And so now we talked a lot about legal practice last time. What someone can do legally, right? Make a record, file a motion to dismiss. Let's talk a little bit about what you've seen parents, and this is not to bash parents, okay? And I do hopefully have someone coming on who wants to share her story, and I'm sure you can give great insight on that. But let's talk about some of the mistakes parents make when they get involved with CPS. There's a whole issue about pre-education, right? To help parents not get involved with CPS. But let's say once you're involved, could you identify maybe the top 3 or 5 things that parents, the biggest mistakes that they make?
Believe it or not, listening to their attorneys to just do what Children's Services tells them to do.
Yeah.
Many times they're asked to do services that they don't need. They don't know from the beginning what to ask for. Children's Services must say why they're there. Now we gotta report that there's a problem with your kids. That's not good enough. Another thing.
So expand on that. Expand on that for me. When you're saying we got a referral that your children are what?
That there's a problem with your children.
So that's when they show up at your door. They want you to let them in, and they're just saying, "Oh, we've got a referral that there's a problem," right? That's what you're talking about.
Well, what exactly is your problem? What is the problem? You know, we don't have water. You know, well, your water's turned off, and your kids don't go to school. That is a real case, by the way.
Oh yeah, I hear it all the time. I hear, "Oh, you kids aren't doing their homework. They're falling behind in math." It's all bullshit, but yep, I hear it.
Oh, I haven't heard that one. Oh, I'd love that one to come up over here.
In Louisiana, I've got an appeal right now that we are appellee, and the whole argument is the kids not doing their homework. Guess what? They had a whole trial at the lower court where the judge ruled in my client's favor, and mom still appealed, and she was the movant. So crazier shit has happened.
Why is she appealing?
Because she wants control. She wants domiciliary status as a domiciliary parent. And because you know why?
Oh,
She's gonna do it. But I think, my client,
That's
we've got a strong
private
argument, we should win.
Yeah, private custody case?
Pardon?
Private custody case?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Another thing, you let him in. Why would you let him in? If the FBI knocked on your door and said, we have a report that you're growing weed in the basement.
Say it again. What?
You're growing weed in the basement.
Right. Oh, I've had this case. Go ahead. Yeah, talk to me.
Why? You're going to tell the FBI what? Or
Get the F out of here. Where's the warrant?
So why aren't you doing it for children's services?
You know what? I think it's because people are just not pre-educated, right? They're just not
Well,
educated.
part of it is, I'm a good parent. There's nothing wrong. I'd let him in. Not knowing that what they're going to end up doing is they're on a fishing expedition. I would love somebody to ask their caseworker to see a fishing license.
I love it, Roz. I love it.
Yeah, Snark is my middle name.
What did you say?
Snark is my middle name.
I love it. I think it's amazing. You know why? Because honestly, when we talk about subpoenas, discovery, all that stuff, we say it's irrelevant if it's a fishing expedition, and you hit the nail on the head.
Because you're right. Everything's fine in your home. Okay?
Yep.
They're going to see the dishes left over from lunch and write up that it's they had the smell of being there for weeks.
Oh my gosh! Listen,
you
if you
can't.
saw my sink right now, I don't have kids. You'd be like, "Oh, this person shouldn't have a dog." Me, honestly, like, come on. I haven't done dishes in 2 days. I don't have a dishwasher. Like, that doesn't mean I'm not fit to parent my dog or a child.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let me give you an example of how things get twisted.
Yeah.
This story, this little scenario goes back many years, but it still applies.
Okay.
I first came up with this when they first did the welfare to work.
Mm-hmm.
Caseworker comes over at 6:00 in the evening, knocks on the door. The mother answers the door. She doesn't see anything wrong, so she lets her in. Caseworker writes up the following. Clothes are piled in the living room.
There was a what?
There are clothes piled in the living room.
Oh.
There is clutter all around.
Welcome to my house.
Dishes on the table. There are hazardous chemicals within reach of the children.
Wow.
Now let's talk about what it really is. Caseworker comes in as mom has just sorted the clothes. Yes, there's piles of clothes in the living room. Colors, whites, and delicates. The clutter is in front of the toy box. Now, everybody knows, and not just parents, but everybody knows, that toy boxes are allergic to children, so that they projectile vomit whenever there's a child in the immediate area. The clutter was nothing more than toys.
Wow.
Playing there. Now, mom just finished dinner. The kids had just eaten. Mom hadn't had time to do the dishes yet.
And this is a real case that you've
scenario
recently?
No, I put it together a while ago, but I presented it to our county. Back then we had 3 county commissioners that ran the county, and were over children's services in our county. So this is what I gave one of them as, we need to look at this, because they will take the children, they take that to court, that list of things, they take it to court. It sounds pretty bad. So the judge gives them permission to take the kids.
Right. So
They're paying at that time $500. It's a while ago. $500 per child per month in foster care. When all that mom needed was time management skills,
right.
which would have cost them $50 a week, $200 a month.
So it's all about the money. At the end of the day, it's all about the money.
Well, that's the thing. If you're going to talk to legislators about fixing things, they're going to worry about the money more than they're worried about the people.
Of course.
So you come to them and you say, in my case, every county has its own agency. In Ohio, there's 13 states that do that. So you're talking about, we have 6,000 kids involved in the system. 2,500 are in foster care. So if we have 2,500 kids times, now it's like $700 a month. That's just for normal kids, no special needs. That's a heck of a lot of money, and they are not getting it all back from the feds. The feds are only paying 52%. The other thing is, when they put the kid in foster care, they take them off of the parents' insurance, and they put it on Medicaid, which the federal government only pays a portion of. It is expensive to have kids in foster care. Terribly expensive on the taxpayer. Whether you believe that the feds pay all of it or not, it's still your tax dollars. So why are we putting all of these kids in foster care when it is much more beneficial to rehab the family together if the rehab is needed? Why are we doing psychological evaluations? Because mom's not good at budgeting money. And the other thing is, caseworkers, a lot of them are not properly trained. So you have a 23-year-old who's never changed his diaper telling you how to handle your 10-year-old autistic kid. Another thing you never let a caseworker do. Look at any unclothed part of your child's body.
Okay.
You pick the shit up and look for bruises. No, they're not a medical personnel. I did have one family written up for bruises on a 3-year-old's shins.
On a what?
Shins.
3-year-old shins?
Shins. Because he liked to jump from the couch to the left. There's a metal, a wood table in the middle. So he made his shins.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so that's great advice. So you know what, Roz, what we're trying to come up with here, and I'm sorry, my face is so close to the camera, but my dog is going crazy. But what we're trying to come up with is some pre-education, right? Parents who have not been involved in the system yet. How can we pre-educate them, okay, to not allow workers to come into their homes and look at their children's bodies? I mean, what would you recommend? Because I have an idea.
We can keep teaching, but the problem is, everybody goes, one, it's not going to happen to me.
Say it again?
It's not going to happen to me.
Well, that's what everyone thinks, right?
Yeah. And two, they're not going to find anything.
What do you mean?
The thing is, you're not going to find anything. I keep a neat house. I have plenty of food in my refrigerator. My kids are doing good in school. They're not, I don't beat my kids. Heck, I don't believe in spanking. But
right. But the thing is, I think what the message we're trying to send to people is this: is that whether or not you do something or not, they can still come for you.
Yeah. All it takes is missing a doctor's appointment.
Yep.
Or pissing off a teacher.
Yep. Or pissing off your ex, right?
Yeah. And they're not supposed to get involved in those custody things, but they do. And
Of course they do. Of course they do. I have a client, from New Jersey that I worked on her case for 2 years, and now, I don't work on her case anymore. But I mean, it's domestic violence related, which I think is huge.
so,
That's
as a
huge.
survivor, don't get me started on some of those. I mean,
Why?
I am sick of little sissies. He yelled at me.
Oh no, we're talking straight up black eye, beat to a pulp. We got police reports, we got medical reports.
Those people are
She
downplayed.
won't leave him. She won't leave him. So I can't help her
Okay.
if she doesn't want to help herself, right?
No, it's the average that it takes for a woman to permanently leave an abusive situation is 8 times.
We're well over that. And yeah, I mean, listen, she had a baby now in the system, and she asked me if I would take the baby. I said yes. They would not give the baby to me. You know why?
Right.
I was her former attorney.
Not a good reason.
I know. It's bullshit.
You put in a motion to intervene with the court?
Pardon?
You put in a motion to intervene with the court?
I did not. I spoke directly to the caseworker who said, yes, we will give the baby to you as temporary placement. And then the very next day, they said, oh no, somebody made allegations about you mishandling her case. And I said, well, I need a name. Who was in that meeting? Because I've never been reported to the ethics committee about mishandling. I got her kids back for her. So I'm looking now into becoming a CASA worker or a foster parent.
There had to be a CASA worker, a foster parent, or the other caseworker maybe.
What do you mean?
Was it the same caseworker?
What, that said no? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, was it? Okay.
She's
Could have been a supervisor.
Say it again?
Could have been a supervisor.
You know what it was? I honestly, I do believe it was a supervisor. And I also believe that at the end of the day, maybe mom said, hey, I don't want her with I want my kid somewhere else. I don't know. I don't know what the truth is.
Right.
But I'm here to help people. So, it's tough because it's just a tough situation, but let's talk about let's move on to this. Let's talk about, okay, so CPS comes to your door. First thing you say is what?
Why are you here?
Okay.
Well, that's not good enough. Why are you here? What's the accusation?
Perfect.
Okay. Their answer usually, well, we have to see if your kids are okay. Don't let them in to see your kids. Bring your kids to the door.
Bring your kids to the door. Okay, got it. Don't let them in your house.
Right. Keep your screen door locked.
Right. And
Bring your kids to the door. Here are my kids. Johnny, will you please go turn on the light switch?
Me?
No, Johnny, please go turn on the light switch to your child. You have electricity. Okay?
Got it.
Excuse me, will you please go to the refrigerator and bring me the milk?
Right.
They don't come in your house.
I like that a lot. You know why? Because honestly, any way, shape, or form that we can keep people out, CPS outside of the home, is the most important thing. And I also say, go ahead.
If they're not in the home, they can't make stuff up.
There we go. And also, I say, if you have a Ring camera, talk to them through the Ring camera.
Oh, that's perfect too.
Right?
Yeah.
Because now, you know what? If they say, oh, the question is, where's the warrant? Where's the warrant? You have a warrant? If you don't have a warrant, come back.
A warrant or a court order.
Now,
because everybody says warrant, but not every state uses a warrant. They use a court order.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm on a live YouTube one.
They have a court order signed by a judge Many times they'll come with the police. And possibly a second worker. If they're planning to take your kids, they're usually coming with two workers and the cops. Okay? Unless there is probable cause, there's no reason for anybody to go. Tell a cop to go over and turn on the spigot on the side of the house.
Who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightest feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.
And I am here to share an important message with you. Remember, every minute in the USA, a child is taken by CPS. Watch CPS Victims Hunting Justice every Monday through Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time to learn about the destruction of families. Join us on this journey as we shine a light on the struggles and seek justice for those affected by CPS intervention. Together, let us raise awareness and work towards creating a better future for our children and families. Tune in to CPS Victims Hunting Justice and stand with us in the fight for a fair and just child protection system.
All right, I guess we're back.
I appreciate that talk. Hi, I'm so sorry. I just had to deal with a neighbor, but I'm back. Come here, Beth. Are you there, Rose?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm so sorry where we left off. Come on, my dog will not come inside. All right. Remind me where we left off. I'm so sorry.
We were talking about not letting them in your house.
Okay, perfect. Right. So not letting. So ring camera, right? Ring camera is beautiful.
Cameras, stand at the door and talk to them through the screen door. If you don't have a screen door, get one. Okay. If for no other reason, then people can't just get in. And it's, you can get one of the wooden ones for under $100, and a clip on it. It's good. Also,
what do you think of a little like Miranda rights card? Like
for kids to take to school, it is perfect. It's called the reverse Miranda.
Right, exactly.
And the kids should learn, I have the right to remain silent. Please contact my parents immediately.
Yes, I love that idea. So I would love to collaborate with you and develop something like that. I do. I think
that has been around for over 20 years.
What?
That has been around for over 20 years.
So you have a copy of it? You have something that we could like
yourself. This is all you need.
Awesome. Can you send me a pic of that?
This is just a plain index card.
Oh, okay, great. All right, so what we'll do is we'll put that up on our TikTok and our channel so everyone can see it, right? And then,
yeah, you just make it out yourself because you're going to put mom and dad's contact numbers on here. And if you want to talk to somebody else, you can also have that.
Totally. I hear you. So, and the other thing is, I think it's great for parents to say, hey, by the way, I do not want to talk to you without an attorney. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it always works, but let's face it, the majority of the people who get hit by children's services do not have a family attorney. They don't.
I understand, but it stalls the process.
Hang on just a second.
Yeah, of course. Take your time.
I'm on Brittany's show right now.
Huh?
I'm here.
And I am here to share an important message with you. Remember, every minute in the USA, a child is taken by CPS. Watch CPS Victims, Hunting Justice every Monday through Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time to learn about the destruction of families. Join us on this journey as we shine a light on the struggles and seek justice for those affected by CPS intervention. Together, let us raise awareness and work towards creating a better future for our children and families. Tune in to CPS Victims Hunting Justice and stand with us in the fight for a fair and just child protection system.
Hello, sorry about that. The other thing, parents should all have a note on the door, on their front door, in their window, we record. That way, if you're in a state that has to have, everyone has to know, they're covered. It's right on your door. There you go. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There you are.
All right. So
Yes.
when a CPS worker says, you cannot record me, guess what? I don't care. Record them anyways. Wouldn't that be your advice?
That's right. If you have to be sneaky and when you're talking to them later on, you turn on record and put your phone face down.
Oh, yeah. I do that all the time. I mean, listen, any conversation, I'm like, if I'm at the police precinct, anything, I say, can I have my phone out? And then I hit record face down. And they don't care. They don't care. It's better to have it than to not.
It's not in your hands. If they want you to put it away, there are other things too. You can always have, and they're fairly inexpensive, like little button recorders.
Yep. Or pens. Yep.
Or pens and things that don't look like you're recording.
Yep.
Are. And then that way you have it. Okay. The thing is, if you can't record like that in your state, then you can't use that in court. However, you can tell them, no, you said this on that date.
Exactly. I agree with that. Like, you know what? If you can't record like that in your state, at least have it for your own records.
Own records, right.
That's what I think I believe very strongly in that. Have it for your records because you never know.
Right. Now, there's one thing that years ago we used to use, a tactic we used to use. Back then it was certified mail, but now it's email. Oh, and you always get a caseworker's email.
Yes, I agree.
That way you can say, dear Miss Crummy caseworker, on such and such a date, you came to my home and we discussed this, and this.
But you memorialize it, exactly.
Right, and you let her know that if she has any change, I use she because most of them are female, and if she has any corrections, she needs to get them to you within 3 business days via a return email. Otherwise, this stands as a record of our meeting and can be used at a further time in court.
Say it again. Hold on. I lost you.
You close it with, if you have any corrections to this, please respond within 3 business days, as this is a permanent record and may be used in a court of law.
Perfect. I love it. We're on the same page. All about creating a record. Create a record. That's the most important thing I can say to anybody. Create a record. Written record, an email, through the court. There's many things we can file. Like, Roz, I love that you talked about a motion to dismiss. Okay? So let me ask you a question. I've got a client, and she hasn't come on tonight, but we will get her on and we will connect her. I'd love to keep this conversation going with you in future episodes. So here's the thing. We've got a client. Her rights have not been terminated yet. Okay? She's being hit for, this is in Maine, okay? She's being hit for her mental health issues caused her, and I read it myself, to not be able to effectively care for the children, and she exposed them to domestic violence, and that she's a drug user. Now, here's the kicker, Roz. The exposure to domestic violence, there's been over 50 police reports about this abuser. The police were always at her house. Did they ever call CPS? No. This man tried to kill her in front of the children. The child called 911. 13 days later, that's when CPS showed up and said, we're taking your children. She's passed 3 hair follicles, and her abuser has been in prison since the day CPS showed up. They went and interviewed him first. There's no TPR here. What is this ripe for a motion to dismiss? What do you think?
Has she? They're saying her mental health. Does she have a counselor?
Yes, she's completed everything that she needs to do. She does DV counseling, everything, substance, psychological, hair follicles, everything, and she's willing to get a lifetime restraining order against this man, which goes a long, long way.
Okay, so she has all of these things. A motion to dismiss would be perfect, and then you put in there all the record of her completing. When she completed her DV classes, they should have given her a certificate or a letter of completion.
Right.
If she had parenting classes, she's had a psychological evaluation.
Yep.
Okay, she doesn't get that, but CPS has it, and an attorney should be asking for at least the report.
So what we're going to do is we're going to help her. She's got a court-appointed attorney, right? So we're going to help her guide that attorney to help file things. And if they won't do it, she'll do it on her own. So I'm thinking a Rule 60, right, might be very necessary here to clarify the record, and then maybe do a motion to dismiss or a motion to return the children, because they haven't TPR'd her yet.
Well, if it's to dismiss, it's over. They have to return the children. You put that in the motion to dismiss.
All right, perfect. Got it. So,
yeah,
so love it. Oh, love it.
Yeah, you put everything that she's completed, especially if it's on the case plan. Okay. Then you put that she's completed the case plan, and you want a motion to dismiss, and ask for a hearing right away.
Right.
Try to put it to the next 6-month hearing.
Okay.
And
also, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's ridiculous. Also,
it is.
Another thing that you need to put on there as an exhibit is at least here in Ohio, you can go to the jail offenders list that will tell you, have a picture of the offender and when they're due to get out.
Amazing.
So if you have that in your state, or pull the docket for
awesome.
That case, where it says he's in jail for the next 20 years.
Awesome.
I mean, use everything you can, because
I agree.
Deny it, it's still all on the record.
And it's appealable, right? And that's what we're going for at the end of the day.
Yep.
So Roz, okay, so I think, I like to keep these shows pretty short because I want to give people bite-sized pieces. I want to have you back on when we can have guests to talk about their story and their case. Unfortunately, Ashley was not able to make it on tonight. She's got a hell of a case that I think, she wants to share. She wants to get your opinion, your advice. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you work cases? Do you advocate? Like, how can people reach you? Are you a part of this team? Do you do it on your own? Like, what's your role sort of in life?
I'm becoming, I guess, a part of this team. However,
Well, I'd love to have you on the team.
huh?
I'd love to have you on as a part of my team, honestly, because I think you're a great sounding board. And, I do this to help people, but also, of course, people understand that services cost some money. But really, we're here to help people. So if you want to be a part of the team, welcome aboard.
Thank you. And just let me know when you need me on. People can reach me on Facebook at Roz McAllister. I'm on TikTok as Roz McAllister.
Awesome.
So it's easy enough to get me that way. We can put my email address up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, Darren, please post Roz's email. Well, I have your email actually, so I can put that up. But please post Roz's email.
Yeah, I just gave it to Darren.
Yep.
So
Okay, perfect. So I think we can post this in the regular.
I still work. I'm not. I don't charge for this. I have to maintain things. So I do call people back. I work from my car for money, so I can talk on the phone.
Awesome. Okay, that's great, because you would be a phenomenal sounding board. People who, like I do the consults, right? But then if I need advice on, okay, Roz, how are we going to handle it in this day? What motion should we make, this and that? I'd love to call you or loop a client in with you, just so they hear it from someone that's not me. Because sometimes two voices, and you've been doing this for a lot longer than I have. If they hear from you, they're going to hop on board. You know what I mean?
Right. And locally as well, I will go to court with them. And you weren't on last night to see why I can get into the courtroom on confidential cases. Let me show you.
Yeah, please tell me, because I'm interested in that as well.
I became licensed by the state. I'm a licensed minister.
A minister?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Like, I could do Universal Life Church online. Does that mean I could go?
Yeah, I went through a real church.
Okay, but still, what does that allow you to do?
You're now the family spiritual leader. First Amendment. They can't keep you out.
So you can sit at the table with them.
I can at least sit in the courtroom with them.
Okay, can you speak on their behalf?
I could as a character witness if I know them well enough. Most of the time I wouldn't. However, I will catch things that others don't. I was once permitted by a judge here in Ohio to sit in on a termination case.
Mm-hmm.
Two experienced attorneys, one for mom, one for dad. And I looked at the children's services table, and they've got a box of documents. And each one of the lawyers had a stack about like this. I said, did you guys do complete discovery? And they said, yeah. I said, why do you have 3 inches and they have a box? These two attorneys, in their early 50s, I would say, looked at each other, and they said, we never thought of that. One time, I actually paid the money and did a motion to intervene.
Love it.
Said, are you willing to take the child? I said, no. I said, I came here to tell you what's really going on in this case.
I love it. I love it.
And they said, well, you're only supposed to do this if you want to if you want to take the children, I said no. I want to intervene to be a part of the case. Doesn't have anything to do with
the best interest of a child, whatever that is, whether you take them or not.
right. So,
that's a great idea, Roz. It hadn't crossed my mind. Seriously, I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
yeah, if you could get someone to motion intervene to bring forward what is really going on in the case, that's the ideal thing.
I love it.
Because the parent didn't have the wherewithal to do the motions to attach things.
Gotcha. Well, listen, that's what I do is I go through, I draft, I do legal strategy, research, everything. So, I mean, if people come to you, they need help drafting, writing, whatever it is, I'm here, and vice versa. I'll come to you for all the advice because you are a wealth of knowledge, and I can't thank you enough for being on the show. Seriously.
Sure. I
do want
to. I can't give legal advice. I give personal and experience.
Say it again.
I give personal experience and and personal advice. I can't legally tell anybody what to do.
No, and that's a great point to clarify. Is that this is, we're all here as advocates. I am an attorney, but I'm not working as an attorney in this capacity. I'm working as an advocate. So this is not legal advice. I can say from my experience, from the cases I've dealt with, but a lot of the states that I'm dealing with, I'm not barred there. So I can't speak to their laws, but I can speak to the legal principles.
Right.
And you can speak to your own experience with all the cases. And I think that synergistically, that's a great relationship for us to have, and people will benefit. Listeners will benefit from that. We're going to continue to grow the audience, and thank you so much for coming on the show. I want to wrap this up because I want to make sure that we can have you back on as often as possible. Any final words, Roz, that you have before we close out the show? Because I just love having you on.
Remember to love your children more than you hate your caseworker.
I love that. And to add to that, I would say remember to love your children more than you hate the other parent.
That too.
It's not about winning. It is about your children at the end of the day. I love it, Roz.